Are you ready to dive deep into the intersections of technology, law, and business? Catch the Tech Intersect Podcast on our new Advantage Evans YouTube channel. Whether you're connecting on the go or binging episodes from the comfort of your home, you'll never miss a moment again. Plus, you'll experience all types of exciting shorts, special events content, breaking news lives, and the comprehensive learning series. Subscribe today, hit the bell for notifications, and enjoy podcast videos and more. Use the link or search for Advantage Evans on YouTube to find our channel so you can watch, learn, and engage where insider meets impact. See you there.
This is Russ Hawkins, and this is Tech Intersect. If you go back into the way data was managed or has been managed historically, it's a very, very, very narrow group of people that have access to the data in the business. Usually it's not even the CEO. CEO and the senior level team are dealing with summaries and with opinions or position papers or those kinds of things that are coming out of usually a very, very narrow group of headquarters-based people that have the job of kind of massaging and analyzing the data to come up with insights. We think that's a very inefficient way. And the reason why it's inefficient is that the way to improve your operations is to have the people making the decisions on the front line, including the CEO, have access to the data in a way that they can understand so that they can make decisions on a real-time basis, incorporating all of the knowledge or the intelligence, rather, of the data that exists.
Welcome to Tech Intersect. I'm your host, Tonya Evans, and my life and work exist at the heart of law, business, and technology. Yeah, I've earned a few fancy titles and degrees over the years, but the bottom line is I'm a writer, speaker, teacher, and lifelong learner, and I'm really excited that you've joined me on this journey. So what is Tech Intersect? Well, it's authentic, empowering conversations with really interesting guests who demystify complex topics to prepare you for the future, because your future is now. And it exists where law, business, and tech intersect. Get ready to listen, learn, and leverage. Let's get started. Welcome to another insightful episode of our podcast, Tech Intersect, where we delve into the intersections of technology, innovation, and business strategy. And today we're honored to host Russ Hawkins to the show, the dynamic president and CEO of Agilence, Agile and Intelligence. You all know that I'm an intellectual property lawyer and law professor by training, so I love a good trademark and I love a great brand. It is a leading data technology company at the forefront of SaaS analytics and reporting. With over 35 years of experience in the tech industry, Russ has been instrumental in steering established organizations and small startups toward achieving their maximum potential through strategic internal change. And under his leadership, the company has become an indispensable tool for retailers and grocers and restaurants, empowering them to enhance operational effectiveness and to uncover preventable losses through the power of their own data. Join us as we explore Russ's vast experience, the transformative power of data analytics, and the future of operational effectiveness in the retail and restaurant industries. We'll talk about all of that and more in a moment, but first, Russ, welcome.
Well, thank you so much, Tonya. I'm excited to be here, and what a great intro. That's I'm feeling good about myself right now. That's fantastic.
Excellent. Well, I'm really always excited to talk with someone who operates in the data space, but outside of my zone of genius. And I think that helps my listeners to expand their horizons as well. So why don't we start off with a chat about more about your impressive career. It spans over 3 decades in the tech industry. So share your pivotal moments that brought you to this particular moment in time.
Well, in terms of becoming a CEO, it's been a lifelong objective of mine since the 9th grade. So in the 9th grade, I was involved or started to get involved with junior achievement, which I think, I don't know if that's even still around, but we broke up in groups and we decided to elect the officers of the company I was not elected as the president. And so at that point, I decided that I'm never going to let that happen again. And I always have chosen to do work that allows me to be the kind of master of my own domain. So that started out early on as in the sales business. I come from a very modest background. You know, my view of sales has always been you can be the master of your own destiny, you can be your personal CEO, and you can be using other people's money to do that. In other words, if you don't have any capital and you can't start your own business, become a salesperson and you can run your own business. And so that was kind of really crystallized for me in that junior achievement experience. So I was a salesperson for a long time, and then in the mid-90s, I got recruited to become the sales VP for a small startup company. Within a year, I had determined that the strategy that company was operating under needed major changes. And so I put together a plan that would make those changes and shared it with both the existing CEO and the board. And it wasn't too long later that I was made the COO, and then less than a year later, I was made the CEO. And then finally, as far as Agilence goes, my last two companies prior to Agilence were largely hardware-based companies. And I wanted to get more in-depth experience with pure software companies. Even in the hardware companies, software was a driver. But I chose to come and work at Agilence so that I could bring my skills into specifically into a software environment. Because as Mark Andreessen and others say, you know, software is eating the world. And I wanted to make sure that I was part of that. So as far as becoming a CEO, those have been kind of the pivotal things. And of course, making money always has helped give me motivation to do things as well.
Absolutely. And I love using OPM to actually make my own money. So that sounds amazing.
That's right.
So talk to me about Agilence and how it plays a critical role in helping businesses to utilize their existing data in order to drive operational improvements, and what inspired the initial vision for the company.
Yeah, so there's been two phases of the company. And when I joined, I was hired by the original venture capitalist that had funded the company. And the initial vision was really a very narrow vision of resolving loss prevention issues in grocers, primarily in grocers. And so the original idea was really to streamline the ability to determine if things were legitimate or not legitimate from a transaction standpoint inside of grocers. You know, we did that for a couple of years, and then I came to the conclusion that we could do a better job of identifying these opportunities and challenges. And so around the 2013 timeframe, I created kind of the current vision of Agilence. And that is all about leveraging the existing data that companies have. Every company is awash in data, and we create more data every day. No matter what kind of applications you're adding, no matter what happens on a day-to-day basis, the one thing you can be sure of is that more data is generated. And what I noticed was that companies were really not leveraging that or making that data available. And that's the way you would leverage it, by making it available to people throughout the organization. And so the vision is to democratize access to the data that already exists in these companies. And, you know, our background has been in loss prevention, and that's really where we started out. But what's happened as we've matured and as the company has gotten deeper and deeper into our customer relationships, what we've found is ways of using our technology to answer lots of other questions outside of loss prevention, whether it is marketing effectiveness or merchandising. Even the finance organization is using our technology these days to support the broader operational requirements and opportunities in these businesses. And so it's become quite exciting. It's the world is open with possibility for the ways that we can use our technology. And there's, you know, a never-ending evolution inside of the retail and restaurant businesses that creates more and more opportunity for us to show companies how they can benefit from understanding their data and using it to make better decisions.
I think it's so critically important because you're right. Companies are, to use your term, awash in data, but it is so incredibly valuable as you start to put the pieces together that creates a narrative to make companies more effective, more efficient, and also more nimble. When I think of how dynamic the C-suite has to be at this point in the time to pivot even more rapidly than in the past. It just seems that things are changing at such a rapid clip. Have you had any kind of headwinds as you are trying to share your solution with legacy companies who haven't quite made the bridge from the legacy way or maybe the 20th century way that they've approached things to a decidedly 21st century approach and being more nimble, so they end up being, more Netflix and less Blockbuster?
Sure. No, yeah, absolutely. Lots of situations like that. If you go back into the way data was managed or has been managed historically, it's a very, very, very narrow group of people that have access to the data in the business. Usually it's not even the CEO. CEO and the senior level team are dealing with summaries and with opinions or position papers or those kinds of things that are coming out of usually a very, very narrow group of headquarters-based people that have the job of kind of massaging and analyzing the data to come up with insights. We think that's a very inefficient way. And the reason why it's inefficient is that the way to improve your operations is to have the people making the decisions on the front line, including the CEO, have access to the data in a way that they can understand so that they can make decisions on a real-time basis, incorporating all of the knowledge or the intelligence, rather, of the data that exists. And so, one of the biggest challenges has been getting people out of that mindset that there's only specialists, there's only data scientists, there's only the people that are in, corridor C rooms 125 and 126 in the corporate headquarters to have access to the data. We think everybody should have access to the data that they need to make the decisions that they need to make on a daily basis. And that's really our mission today, is to make it so that, first of all, the data is put away in a way that makes it comparable to each other, where there's value added into the data. We typically add depth and breadth to the database that we create by adding either mathematical or Boolean or statistical operators on top of it. We create KPIs with our customers, and then the system automatically generates that stuff on an ongoing basis once it's set up. And the way that people interface with it is either through delivered alerts that have a prescriptive nature to them, or by using the software themselves and taking advantage of our user interface, which we've taken great pains to design a way that doesn't require you to be a data scientist to get access to the data. We want to be able to have the average person with average skills to be able to ask the questions that they want to ask to get the answers that help them make better decisions. So the point is, they know their business better than I. I don't know most of these companies' business in any way. The data has lots of ways of helping people make decisions. We just need to figure out a way to take the barriers down and put it together, and that's what we're all about.
You love listening to podcasts, but have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? Maybe you want to build a brand, grow your business, or are looking for an excuse to talk about your favorite hobby. Whatever your reason for making a podcast, Buzzsprout is the place to start. Since 2009, Buzzsprout has helped over 300,000 people launch their own podcasts. Buzzsprout walks you step by step through the whole process and will give you powerful tools to start, grow, and monetize your podcast. Ready to get started? Click the link in the show notes to get our free step-by-step guide to starting your podcast today.
Have you ever found yourself puzzled, wondering if cryptocurrency is just a fleeting trend, a scam, or perhaps the future? Hi, I'm Dr. Tonya Evans, and I'm here to introduce you to my new book, Digital Money Demystified, your ultimate guide to deciphering the crypto maze. As a legal policy and crypto education expert, I've crafted this book to cut through the chaos, debunk the myths, and tackle the FUD. That's fear, uncertainty, and doubt. From captivating headlines to meticulously sourced data, I guide you through the promises and the pitfalls of digital assets. With 12 chapters and 10 myths dispelled, Digital Money Demystified is designed for investors, business owners, and professionals eager to navigate the digital economy. It's more than just a book. It's a tool for economic empowerment that directs you safely and confidently from cash to crypto. Say goodbye to bewilderment and hello to enlightenment. Transform from crypto curious to confident sidestep those scammers, and embrace the future of work, wealth, and creativity. Grab your copy of Digital Money Demystified today at the book's companion website, digitalmoneydemystified.com, or wherever books are sold. This is the right book, the right voice at the right time. Don't miss out on the digital revolution. Stop by digitalmoneydemystified.com now. As you were speaking, it makes me think of all of the new technologies that are enhancing the ability of people to synthesize data, organize it in order to make it accessible and therefore use it to their advantage moving forward. Obviously, that calls into play your thoughts on artificial intelligence and large language models. What ways are you leveraging new technologies in order to make your business, to make Agilence even more impactful and effective for your clients?
Well, you point out a couple of things that I think are really important there. First of all, there's technological advances happening at every part of the chain, every part of the process, including just basic database technologies. Those are evolving dramatically. And so, first of all, have to keep pace with those kinds of things. We have to be able to access the data depending upon how the companies are managing their own data. How do we get access to it? Do they send it to us? Do we reach in to get it from them? Do we dig into the data lake, or do they pull it out and deliver it? So there's a lot of mechanical issues that are related to advancements in just database technology that's important. But yeah, you asked about probably the biggest change that's happening right now is in AI and machine learning techniques. And first of all, machine learning and AI has been around for a while.
Long time.
We're certainly acting now like it's something new. And that's really the things that are new are, the LLMs, the large language models that you've described, the advance in processing power that's happened. I wish I had invested in NVIDIA.
Absolutely.
I'm not a very good stock picker, that I can tell you. But AI is absolutely going to have a major impact. We have started a couple of initiatives, and I'm contemplating a whole bunch more. So the first initiative is around what we call DNA scores. Of course, we're using the DNA moniker, so to speak. But the idea is, how do we identify common characteristics in common situations and then accumulate enough examples of that so that we're able to identify issues that are not problems from the issues that are problems. And so there's this learning model requirement that has to go to make that happen. It takes over time. So we're doing two things in specific today. One of them is we're looking at the kinds of cases that are generated by our software. And so a case is where there's an anomaly that's been identified and it has an impact on the business. It's either reducing top-line sales or increasing expenses and therefore reducing the profitability of the company. And so by exposing our AI to a large number of these circumstances, we get into a position where we're able to start predicting whether a certain case with a certain set of characteristics is likely to be a problem or not likely to be a problem. We have a case management product that is using it for that specific reason, to be able to identify what's what and what's not. And then we're using it to identify people and clustering together behaviors in a way that lets us predict whether the next person that's hired or the next person that is involved, promoted into a different role, whether they're going to be successful or not based on the experience of others. But we're only just scratching the surface. The reality is that AI and large language models can have an impact across our business. I believe that it can help us be better customer support people. I think by analyzing our historic customer success communications with customers, that we can get better at customer success. We think we can improve our chatbot capability. Our current capability on a chatbot is very, very rudimentary, I guess is the word that I would use. And we think we can improve that dramatically. And we also think we can write code. We also think that it can help us get more productivity out of code. And I would say that that's the one word that I think AI is going to have an impact on. It is going to change the productivity of the world, and our business is no different. And while I think there are jobs that are going to be lost as a result of that, I think there are many, many jobs that are going to be created that figure out ways to harness this AI technology, that harness the ability to prompt, for example, prompt these LLMs and so forth. And so I'm very, very excited about that technology. But it's not the only one that's impacting retailers and restaurants. You look at RFID technology, you look at the blockchain technology that's out there, the ability to secure the provenance of products, especially in the luxury goods area. There's a ton of ways that blockchain is going to have an impact. I think a combination of blockchain and RFID. I mean, RFID now is becoming a tag that goes in everybody's used to these big clunky things that you had to have removed when you're buying a new suit or something at the point of sale. Those are becoming tags, and they're full of data. They have not only that item is an important item, but it has color, size, style, all the things. And now we can start tracking that from basically the manufacturer all the way through the delivery to the customer. And blockchain, for example, gives us a way of making sure that we have clear records of the movement of that product across all. Now it's not being adopted all that quickly by retail, but I see all kinds of opportunities for RFID, for blockchain. Video technologies are advancing. Video analytic technologies are advancing. So it's just a really, really exciting environment to be operating in today.
I'm so glad that you mentioned blockchain. There are a lot of the audience is focused on Web3 technologies broadly, but a decided portion of them focused on cryptographically secured assets, distributed ledger technology. I've had folks on in the past who talked about the importance of provenance, as you mentioned, in supply chain, particularly given the pandemic and the deleterious impact on moving something from point A to point B, just a common good, let alone, as you mentioned, luxury items, wine, certainly diamonds. You want to make sure that something that comes from a specific place is tracked all the way, particularly having the same information across a chain where companies must rely on each other, but they don't all know each other. And the improvement in these validity and the security of data, I think will continue to be transformative. I know that use of blockchains to organize and protect and secure transactional data, first with Bitcoin and then obviously with others, that's the first use case, but I don't even know that will be the most interesting or most important moving forward. So I'm glad to hear you talking about the importance as a part of the larger tech ecosystem moving forward. And I think that's going to help a lot of folks. The final question that I wanted to ask, because it's so exciting what you're doing now, but you are no stranger to technology. You have led the transformation of 2 early stage tech companies prior to Agilence. And I think it would be helpful to kind of discuss key strategies or principles that guided the transformations and how they apply to your leadership approach at the company now, particularly with where the company is going forward.
When I started, so you're correct. This is my 3rd technology company, and I haven't been the founder of any of them. So I'm not the genius that has the blinding idea. But I don't think you have to be a genius to run a company. In fact, I think that most people have the ability to run a company. Of course, you have to understand the basics of business and how a P&L gets put together and those kinds of things. But as far as what's worked for me, when I have come into these companies, the first thing I've done is to try to step back and kind of reassess where the company is and what are they doing. Do they know who their customer is? And do they know what their product is? And so understanding and being clear about what you have to offer to the business community, who your specific customer is, and then to have a very clear plan and a clear set of objectives about how you're going to go ahead and attack that business opportunity. So usually I like to spend the first, and most of the times I've been hired by the owners, the financial owners of the company. And I come in, I go, okay, give me 3 months. Let me figure out exactly how we're doing, what we're doing, who we're serving, what the value propositions are, get down into the very granular level of use cases. And then from there, we can figure out whether the strategies that are being executed on prior to me are going to be the ones that are going to sustain the company. We can identify what the market opportunity is. And so there's kind of a process where, it's kind of know your product, know your customer, know what your value proposition is. The most important part, though, is not those things and not having a clear objectives. All of that stuff is very important. You got to make sure you have the right team and you've got to incent that team effectively. So the other major thing that's worked for me is to understand that it's a virtuous cycle, right? If you take care of your people and you have a clear set of objectives and a clear understanding of the value that you deliver, then those people are going to take care of your customers.
Absolutely.
And if your people take care of the customers are going to take care of the investors and the company, and the investors in the company are going to take care of the people. So it's a really virtuous cycle that we're dealing with here, and it's been the one that's served me extremely well. The people are our most important asset. All the other stuff is important to have, but you've got to concentrate on ensuring that the people are motivated to do their job, that they're enjoying it, that they're getting some personal development out of it, even if they're not going to continue with the company. I mean, I like to tell my team, we want you to have a positive experience here, whether you in the long term decide to stay with Agilence or not. We want you to have a positive experience. We want you to build your skills here, and we want you to do that while you're serving our customers. And so that resonates extremely well with people. They feel valued. In turn, if they feel valued, they're making the customers feel valued, and it just works across the board. The other just quick little thing that I like to do is I like to narrow down the amount of time we're looking at. I think big companies, manage quarter to quarter. That's too short. Many startup companies manage on an annual basis. I like to run the company on 6-month chunks. I like to have the team aligned around 6-month objectives, and I like to work that 6-month cycle because I think it's kind of the Goldilocks period of time, right? It's not too long and it's not too short. It's the right amount of time where people can have an impact. It's a significant part of an annual plan, and it gives you enough time for the second half of the plan, the second half of the year, to change your strategies and change your tactics. So it's something that I've used throughout my career, and sometimes had to have arguments with my venture capitalists, but for the most part, they've embraced it because we've gotten great results.
You've said so many gems that I hope people are paying attention to. I was secretly trying to grab my pen so I could take some notes as well, because what people don't often hear for folks who are really immersed in tech and in data is the fact that people matter. And you have the people proposition that leads to enhanced value of data. But without that, there's an ecosystem of both and is what I'm hearing from you, right?
Yes.
The clear value of data and oil, et cetera, but without the agreement of one voice, one mind, and also the value of people in their experience, whether they're with you for a short time or for the duration, really does matter because they may become not only customers in the future, but certainly, particularly in the world of social media and what my parents and grandparents taught me, it takes a lifetime to build a reputation and an instant to ruin it, particularly in the social media world. So we want to leave people, places, and things better than we found them. And we also want to be more efficient and effective in markets to make the whole thing run. So I appreciate so much your approach to business, to a human-centered approach to the value add with data. I'm hoping that you can let people know how they can learn more about Agilence and you and the work if they're interested in connecting.
Well, thank you so much for saying that. It's certainly something that I hold very dear. My belief is that data, technology, AI, whatever it is there to make people better, not to replace them. We're trying to improve people's ability to enjoy their work and to have an impact in what they do. And that's what we try to do at Agilence. So, we can be found at agilenceinc.com. That's AGILENCEINC.com. And, you can reach me. I'm happy to chat with any of your listeners. And if you want to talk more, I'm happy to talk with you as well. It's rhawkins at agilenceinc.com.
Excellent. We will include all of that in the show notes. You are now a friend of the show. It's the first time, but certainly not the last, because things are rapidly evolving and we want to make sure we stay in constant conversation to the folks who are building a better world. So I appreciate you, Russ, for coming on to Tech Intersect, and welcome to the family.
Well, thank you so much. And I'm really happy that I'm part of the family. And please call on me anytime. Thank you so much for your time today. And I really appreciate the opportunity to talk.
Thank you. Thank you so much for listening to the Tech Intersect podcast. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you love it, please tell the world. If not, go ahead and tell me. And in either case, drop a comment or ping me on social media at IPProfEvans with the hashtag Tech Intersect. And finally, a quick reminder on digital safety. There are a lot of scammers out there impersonating me and others, and I need your help. Now hear this, and remember, I will never slide into your DMs to say peace and blessings or hey, and I will never reach out to solicit your time or your money on social media like ever. I'm not a trader. I am an educator and an attorney licensed in 4 states. Thank you very much. I'm here to inform, inspire, and empower. No cap and definitely no Forex. So be careful, make good choices, and remember, I developed an entire free masterclass about the topic of digital safety in the crypto space. So check out secureyourcryptobag.com for more information. That's secureyourcryptobag.com. All right, that's all for this episode. Until next time, continue to shine. Hey there, Tech Intersect listeners. Have you ever encountered naysayers claiming crypto is too volatile, a total scam, or a hacker's paradise? Well, it's time to dispel these persistent myths and reveal the truth. It's exactly why I wrote Digital Money Demystified, available now wherever books are sold. And this book is your golden ticket from being crypto curious to radiating crypto confidence. Navigate the crypto world with clarity and conquer the chaos. Get your copy today to learn about my journey, separate fact from fiction, and maybe even embark on a transformative journey yourself. Don't stop there. Enhance your learning experience exponentially. Join the DMD Insiders Membership Club. It's a gateway to premier coaching, engaging community, and unparalleled content that complements the insights in the book. Together, we'll unlock the potential of digital money and stride confidently into the future. Visit digitalmoneydemystified.com, grab your guide to the crypto universe, and become an esteemed member of our Insiders Club. Let's decode the digital dollar and invest in your crypto-savvy future right now.